I'm starting this with a haiku because I think it's appropriate. See her do a flip, walk the tightrope. This is the greatest show on earth.
All right.
Exactly, because I was thinking when I was thinking of this phenomenal feature from Mama Oroki Rice, I thought, I've got some things in common with this woman. I have done work as a Queen's workshop facilitator for years. I did ad campaigns. I've heard far too many stories. I know that I'm like, I've got a lot in common with this woman, and I really had this bonding thing as I was listening to this. This was the one that I thought was awesome. The founder of Sisters on a Journey, a healing ministry for women and survivors of trauma. And I'm like, hello, bang, bang, bang. I'm like, now I'm thinking of what I've gone through. We've got so much in common. And then I'm like, well, it says childhood abuse and neglect. I'm like, well, kind of. No, drug addiction. And I'm like, well, I won't admit it. And then there's incarceration. Well, I've always managed to avoid the incarceration for everything I've done. So I'm like, well, I think by spirit or whatever, I've got a lot in common with this woman. And I love to hear how she has been able to take all of the things that she has gone through and be able to share it through her ministry, through her performance art, through her spoken word, through her written word, and share it with you guys. And I am really, really thrilled that my Mama Oroki Rice is going to be here this evening. So please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Oroki Rice!
I think I met somebody crazy as me. Okay, yes. I am Oroki Rice, and I want to do a commercial too. I'm founder of an organization called Sisters on a Journey, and we do a monthly drumming circle for women. We do a monthly writing circle, and then we do, on the fourth Saturday of the month, we do storytelling, which we'll be doing this Saturday in Hyde Park. Be my Facebook friend, Oroki Rice. Thanks everybody for coming out, especially my church friend, Miss Fain over there, and thanks her for sharing. I'm still trying to figure out Bill stiff as a wombat's penis. I'm still trying. I gotta look that one up when I go home. Okay, and I love that clouds in the ankles also. Yeah, I saw the piece you posted earlier, Janet, about the bullying piece, and I wasn't planning to do this story, but I think I will do this one.
That's why I started up with Joy at the beginning of the night. Yep.
And it's not a happy story, but I got some of that too. So this first one is called Remembering. Church. Summer Vacation Bible School. I love Vacation Bible School. I'm 9 years old. My group is learning how to use string puppets. My puppet is Barnabas of the New Testament, son of encouragement. I am having fun, but there is Maurice Walker, a fat boy, who is 9 like me. He keeps trying to make his puppet do it to Barnabas. I don't like Maurice Walker. Not because he's fat, but because he's always trying to do it to my puppet Barnabas. Can he at least stop while we're in church? He doesn't. Each time we get our puppets out to practice for Bible puppet show that we'll present to our parents, he finds a place close to me and rubs his puppet, Paul, on Barnabas. I want to hate him, but I can't. After all, we're in church. One day after Vacation Bible School, Maurice and 4 other bad boys like himself chased me home across the street to where I live. I run into the vestibule of the building. I live on the 3rd floor. It seems I don't have a chance. This brotherhood of young male predators are in fervent pursuit of my sacred female innocence. They assault me with groping, pushing, and grabbing. Their molestation of my spirit torments me in a place that still pains today. They rub their stinky, sweaty bodies against mine. They reach into my shorts, trying to get into my panties. They stuff their hands into my vacation Bible school t-shirt, greedy for breasts that have yet to bud. I refuse to yield to them without a struggle. I fight back with scratching, kicking, slapping, spitting, biting, waging the best war a girl of 9 years old can carry against a band of childhood horny hoodlums. My stamina against their invasion appears to intensify their force. Finally, they seem to get what they need and they run away laughing. I feel scared. I feel humiliated. I feel powerless. I am out of breath. I am angry. This happens several times that summer. School. I have always loved school, and I'm in the 5th grade. I'm a good student. Sometimes during the school year, a new boy arrives. It is whispered that he has just been released from the bad boy school, Montefiore. At recess, he chases me on the playground. He pushes me into corners, gropes, and feels on me. I do not like that, but I don't know how to make him stop. He gives me mean looks in the classroom. He bumps into me on purpose, making himself feel on my butt as we line up for the bathroom. I am afraid of him. I feel helpless. Home. I am 13 years old. We now live across the street in a 2-flat building owned by my church. My parents are very strict and have not allowed me much interaction with boys. Their stern warnings of the dangers of boys have convinced me to be real cautious. They have thoroughly indoctrinated me to the point that I am painfully shy in the presence of any male. The family living upstairs consists of a mother, a father, 2 girls, and 3 boys. We are all members of the same church. Unlike me, the kids from this family are popular in the neighborhood. Because of them, other kids gather on our porch singing, showing off the latest dances, talking about sports, movies, clothes, schools, signifying, and gossiping. Plenty of clean adolescent fun. Sometimes when I come home, there may be 12 kids sitting on the porch. If I am not accompanied by my mother, I walk around the block to go to the back so I won't have to pass through them. I don't know how to function in their presence. They seem to sense my nervousness and sometimes encourage me to join them. Often, I sit in my apartment and listen to their conversations, wishing that I had the skills to join in the fun. One summer evening, I am sitting on the porch alone. It is rare to find the porch empty. The oldest boy, Paul, from upstairs, joins me. He is not popular like his siblings. Sometimes kids make fun of him. I've heard them call him weird. Paul and I talk. Maybe he is a little weird. I like this. I can relate to weird. I laugh at his jokes and I ask him questions about himself. I do not feel threatened. Before I realize, a group of kids have gathered on the porch. My father comes out of the apartment to the porch. My father drinks. When he drinks, he is mean to me. He drinks a lot. He never hits me with his hands or a belt, but he hits me with his words that batter my soul. This time will be no different. When he sees me, his daughter, laughing and mingling with this mostly male group of teens, he shames me. He embarrasses me. He calls me a whore, demanding that I go inside immediately. I hang my head and will myself not to cry in front of my peers. Years ago, I decided I would no longer allow my father the benefit of crying in front of him, no matter how his words wound me, no matter how deep his venomous utterance bruise and gouge my spirit, no matter that the old sores never get a chance to heal before there are new blows. I will not let him see me cry. Again, I ask myself, why would he do this to me? Why does he hate me? No answer ever comes to me. I feel chagrined that my father would call me, his young daughter, a whore. I am devastated that my father would do this to me in front of other kids. I am mortified that I will have to face them again. I feel frustrated that I don't have the power to make him stop hurting me. I try to hate him, but he is my father. It is my experience that most people do not want to hear this story. I tell myself it is because some people do not want to remember their own distressed childhood. I believe some who might listen might have been bad boys or mean men themselves. Some say to me, get over it. Children bounce back, let go of the past. Some put the blame on me. If it was that bad, why did you tell someone? Well, I learned long ago not to tell anyone because no one wanted to listen, even now. When as an adult I asked my mother why she did not protect me, she told me that she thought I did a good job of taking care of myself. My father's oldest brother, who lived next door to us when we grew up, told me that I had no right to dirty his brother's good name. The church of my adult life tells me to forgive and forget. Well, I choose not to forget. My remembering has allowed me to protect my own 3 daughters as best I could as they grew up. Remembering has made me sensitive to the needs of my 8 granddaughters. As a grandmother, my senses are vigilant for kids, teachers, neighbors, family members who seek to harm any of them who would intentionally or otherwise harm their sweet, holy souls. My granddaughters know that they can talk to me. They know that I will listen. Remembering has allowed me a voice for injustice against women and children. I feel obligated to speak out to protect women and children when sometimes I can't even find the courage to protect myself. I have decided that forgiving is a luxury that I cannot indulge. I choose to remember. Thank you. Thank you. All right, okay, so let's go a little lighter this time. This piece is called Mustang Vagina. It's much more than a body part. It's a sacred channel that pushed forth my 3 baby girls. It's an entrance into my exquisite soul. It's been battered, betrayed, bragged and boasted about, hot and bothered, bathed, bitten, in a good way, befriended, bloomed, blasted, bled, broken, blessed, brushed, and blithe, been in love, been devoted to, been keen on. At 60 years old, I understand it belongs to me, and I can decide how I want to spend celebrating. All right. Let's see, yeah. That's good. I'm not always nice. This piece is called First Grade. 1959 Chicago's West Side Theodore Herzl Public School teacher, Mrs. Cecilia Castile. She's pretty. She's colored. It is her first year as a teacher. We students are of many varied shades: chocolate, coffee, tan, russet potato, high yellow, dark, real dark, and black. Mrs. Castile presents us with a used reader delivered from the white schools. The reader is named Look and See. It is accompanied by a workbook named Think and Do. In my reader and workbook, I meet new friends, pink friends. There's Dick and Jane, their little sister Sally, with curly yellow hair, their mom and dad, their cat. Come on, you guys are old enough. Their cat, Puff, and their dog, Spot. There you go. I love school. I love Mrs. Castile. I love reading, but something seems wrong somewhere. I spent years with Dick and Jane and Sally and their mom and dad and their cat Puff and their dog Spot. Years watching Tarzan swinging through the jungles of Africa, colliding with people who could be my cousins. Years being uncomfortable as my dark-hued classmates rooted for the Cowboys, killing off the Indians. Years singing, "My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty." Even as 4 little girls were killed while in Sunday school in a Birmingham church. Mrs. Castile did a remarkable job. She nurtured wounded spirits with love and care through recycled look-and-see readers and think-and-do workbooks. Mrs. Castile gave me a gift that was never tarnished in all the damp, dark, dusty, desolate, sometimes damning places that I have traveled since 1959. Mrs. Castile determined that I would read. When I read, I look. When I look, I see. When I see, I write. When I write, I think. And when I think, I do. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, let's do this one. This piece is called Sweetness, Maybe Grandiosity. Honey is sweet, and so are my feet. Breastfed babies are sweet, especially their breath and their hair. Some girls are sweet, some are not. Some girls fake sweet. Some boys are sweet, most are not. The voice of Luther Vandross is sweet. I think he is too. I love sweet-smelling perfume, sweet-smelling candles, sweet-smelling incense, and jasmine smells oh so sweet. Sometimes I love how sweet I smell. I have thoughts of licking myself and don't think it can't be done.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Right, okay. I'm a Leo and I'm a firewoman. Got a lot of nerve. 60 years old, I am bold and fiery. Will not be controlled. Tried to put my flame out, hurt. Burned myself with others with lies. Faking being mild. Denying the blaze in me. No longer will I bow down. Mediocre life, tepid, lukewarm, I refuse. Passion burst with heat. Magic, goddess, brave, grace by power from on high, firewoman free. Okay, so this is a story here. When I went on Facebook, I think it was 2009 when I went on. I didn't want to go on it. My kids were like, everybody's on there, daddy's on there. So yeah, so I went on Facebook and I went crazy. I was like, oh my God, I can find everybody in the whole world that I ever knew. So yeah, I went on, I was finding all these people and found all the old boyfriends. But there was this one guy who I was trying to find who was my boyfriend at 16 years old. And he was in the Black Panther Party. And he actually gave me the name Oroki. I was born Ella, and he renamed me Oroki, which means a protector. And I had not seen McKinday since, okay, we were 16 years old. And I really didn't like him like that, but he was a really nice guy, 16 years old. Told me he would never touch me. I was going to be a virgin when we get married. I was like, really? Okay. So anyway, yeah, but he was so nice, but I really wasn't into into him like that then, and I ended up breaking up with him. But my family liked him, and he used to still come by our house and visit my mother, and just a nice guy. And so I got pregnant going away to college, my first year in college at Northern Illinois University. I get pregnant with my first that's a whole nother story, sexual experience. I end up pregnant, 19 years old, and I didn't want to have a relationship with my daughter's sperm donor because by this time I was going to free Mother Africa, and he was partying, doing, dancing to the parties in the campus, and I just wasn't into that. He was counter-revolutionary. So I never even told for the first 8 months that I was pregnant by him.
Oh, wow.
So in the tradition that I was living at this time, it was popular and even natural that we would have naming ceremonies for our children. So I'm part of this group, and we're going to have a naming ceremony. The night before, I realized I don't have a father for my child's place to stand in at the naming ceremony. So I called McKinday. I hadn't talked to him in a few years. Called McKinday. Will you stand in and be my baby's father at the naming ceremony? He did. He showed up, came. Lost track of him again.
Wow.
So then I run into, this is like 1973. So around 1986 or so, my friend ran into him, and he gave her his number and said, I keep everything, so if you don't want me to know it, don't give it to me. I still have the little piece of paper from 1986 where McKinday wrote his name on there, and I called, and by this time I was in a relationship with the man who I ended up marrying. So I called McKinday, and I'm like, hey, how you doing, whatever. He's like, good to hear from you. I put my daughter on the phone. She's about 12 years old at the time. She talks to him. Lose track of him again. Don't hear from him. So now I'm on Facebook, and I'm looking for him. Can't find him. I look periodic. Last year, 2013, January, I put the name in. Boom. There he is. Says he went to Francis. If there were no pictures, he had 8 Facebook friends. And I could tell he didn't really use Facebook, not like me, who got a whole lot of friends. And I got lots of pictures on my page. So, I could tell he didn't really use it. So I send an offline message to him, and I say, are you McKinday? And he sends a message back that says, yes. And he goes, oh my God, I've been wondering where you are, da 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 da. So we start talking over the phone a few times, and he's telling me I sound the same, and he remembers how I used to look, and da 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 da. And my ego is like, whoa, da 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 da. So nobody says anything about are you married? I don't ask him that. And I got a husband. I don't mention I got a husband. We're having these great conversations, remembering back 1970s. Right. So he tells me he'd like to take me out to dinner, and he says, because he's a nice guy, still was. And he goes, and you can invite anybody you want to go to dinner. Now my the oldest daughter is about to turn 40 years old. So I use this as an excuse that your kind of godfather, McKinday, because she's not heard from him, but that one time when she was 12 years old, McKinday wants to take us out to eat. And she goes, I'm not in that mess, don't put me in that. So I asked her kids, my grandchildren who live upstairs, and they're like, you don't even know him, he could be crazy. No, we're not going, except for the younger one who's 15 years old. She goes, yeah, I want to go. And he says, wherever you want to go. She goes, let's go to Red Lobster. So I tell him, okay, we're going to, me and McKinday and my granddaughter Faith, we're going to Red Lobster. Day came and Conscience said, no, you cannot go to Red Lobster with McKinday. That's not a good idea. So I backed out of it at the last minute, and then we're texting and talking on the phone. Still, nobody said nothing about us. So my friend Sheila calls me one Sunday morning and says she's got tickets to ETA Theater. Do I want to go to a play with her? Yeah, I want to go. So I text her back and I say, my crazy, cranky husband will be dropping me off at your house. Only the text did not go to her. Guess who it went to?
Oh, no.
McKinday gets the text. So now it's out over, at least on my part, that McKinday knows I have a husband. So now the level of the conversation kind of changes a little bit. He tells me about his wife, Jacqueline, who reminds him of me. And when he met her, she had a big afro like me, and I'm like, Jacqueline doesn't want to hear this. I'm sure that she reminds him of his girlfriend from when he was 16 years old. I'm sure you're not telling her those stories. He tells me that he's got 3 children. He's got 5 children. 3 of them live in Atlanta. My daughter lives in Atlanta too. So I take a trip to Atlanta to visit my daughter, and I'm in church now. They're texting because I'm just texting everybody, and I text McKinley while I'm in church, and I said, I found my tribe in Atlanta. And we had so much time, and he goes, I'm in the house of the Lord too. And then he goes, I'll be visiting Atlanta, but you'll probably be gone by the time I get there. No, I won't. I'll be here 3 more weeks, I tell him. The text stopped. Nothing at all. It dries all up, seriously. Nothing. He won't respond to the text, to the Facebook messages. There's nothing at all. So my birthday was coming up last year, August 12th. I'm a Leo, as I said. And so I was having this big birthday party last year, and I was inviting everybody. People on the bus stop, seriously, anybody, you should come to my birthday party. I was telling people. So I sent him a message saying you should come to the party. Didn't get any response. So the party happened, and people were at my house. I mean, it was packed. There were so many people there that there were people I don't even know were there. Told me later I was at your party. No, you weren't. They showed me pictures of my house at my party, so they were there. So when the party's over, and my sister's there spend the night, and everybody's gone, and I'm still all hyped up from the excitement of the party. There was a book that I had with people signed their names in it saying they were at the party. So I'm looking through the book that night. There is a message in the book that says, hello, Oroki, you look as beautiful as I remember you looking back in 19 whatever, and it's nice seeing you, best wishes with your life. McKinley was at my house at my birthday party, you all.
Oh my God.
And he never even said anything.
Oh my
now,
God.
He knew me, obviously. He knew because he's been stalking my Facebook page. He's been commenting on the pictures, so he knew what my daughter looked like. He knew what my sister looked like. He knew who my cousin, because he knew us. He was at my house, you all, and he didn't say anything. So I called him. He didn't respond to my phone calls. I texted him. He didn't respond to the text. He didn't respond to Facebook. That's the end of the story. Seriously. So I don't know if anybody knows McKinley, like tell him I'm looking for him, okay? Tell him I'm not trying to steal him from his wife or anything. I don't know, Jacqueline probably is like, hell no, you can call him that bitch. That's probably what I think happened. So this piece is called For McKinley. Panther man, you who loved me so, me, your African princess who only knew herself is wounded on the inside, raw from the pain of a corrupted, convoluted, spirit-crumpled childhood, a father who could not be what I needed him to be. Yet, you, Panther man, saw only royalty in my skinny girl princess one day to be queen self. You promised to protect me. You said you would honor me always. You kept your promise even when I could not honor myself. You were faithful to me even when I cheated on myself. Oh, Panther man, later when I sunk into the murky abyss, I heard your voice whispering to me that I was beautiful, graceful, to be admired. Some days I listened. It was your remembered panther purr, which beckoned me back from the lightless wilderness to a starlit day. I didn't know how to thank you then, so today I take the time to honor and salute you for being Panther Man, the man who first loved me. Oh.
That was triple plus awesome. That was, and you just get this whole story, and you're like, I am just getting this whole story about somebody. That was awesome. And yes, it was nice to have storytelling. Yes, this says, people assume poetry open mic. I love short stories. I love song. This is all incredibly awesome. So thank you very much, Oroki Rice. Thank you. And now, because it's the end of the open mic, I have to tell people about upcoming features. Because, yeah, you've heard a little of this briefly, but in 2 weeks, May 7th, which happens to be my 14-year wedding anniversary. Wow. So we might do a song that we did at our wedding. We might do that at the beginning of the open mic. But it's a double feature night, which means I might come up and read one thing, because we're going to have not only Robin Fine, but also from Leeds, straight from England himself, Oz Hardwick. 2 weeks after that, we've got another double feature. We've got Virginia Hunt, and we've got Roberta Miles, who runs an open mic over at Cafe Baloo. And then it comes to June, we've got Eric Esden on June 5th, or June 4th, forgive me for that one. It's also the 20-year anniversary of CCND, so we might read a lot of CCND poetry or something. Toward the end of June, by the 18th, well, that's my own feature, which I'm gonna make you all. I'm gonna make half of you come up here and read haikus so that you can all be a part of my feature as well. And if you wanted to look at the schedule, yes, Darren Cleary on July 2nd, we got Jerry Pendergast on the 16th, July 30th, we've got Kathleen Shamel and and I am tired of talking about all these dates, so if you ever wanted to look at it, you can always check it out online at www.chaoticarts.org/thecafe, because this is the Cafe Gallery. And for all of you people that aren't on the mailing list, you can find out about the weekly podcast from features and open mics and who the upcoming features are if you actually send me an email. Just come bug me. Just ask for my email. It's just, the cafe@scars.tv or jancampers@gmail. And I would love to hear from you, and I would love to see you all in 2 weeks for my wedding anniversary, which is right before Robin's birthday, for 2 great features.